Rick's going to pull over here. I'm just going to talk for another couple of minutes before we keep going. Oh, they closed the gates there. They don't often do that. Okay? Just talk from here for a minute. Yeah, the real key to understanding New Orleans is our unique black history. We had, well, I started to say we had free blacks before the Civil War. In Haiti, they also had free blacks, free people of color. The French call la gens couleur de l'air or something like that. We had a system where the white Creole boy might take a woman of mixed blood as a mistress. The boy gets to be about 15 or 16 years old. The hormones are starting to rage. Somebody like his uncle takes him to the quadroon balls. He meets women who are 1/4 black, called quadroon, Q-U-A-D, 1/4 black, a free woman of color of mixed blood. The boy and the girl get to know each other pretty well before they're ready to enter into a liaison. Before that happens, the boy's father, the girl's mother, sits down to negotiate to make sure the woman is going to be taken care of, put up in a cottage on the edge of the French Quarter, or the back of the French Quarter, and also put up in a business, maybe coffee seller, hairdresser, dressmaker, shopkeeper, something like that. Most importantly, the children are going to be taken care of, and the male children might be sent to Paris to be educated. Under the Americans, for us back then, that meant the English Protestants, the children of mixed blood were considered additional property. The father would not even admit that he was the father, like Thomas Jefferson, or maybe Strom Thurmond. You know. But by the time, now there's more that happened. One more thing I have to add. In the 1790s, there was a slave revolt in the French Caribbean. At that time, they were inspired by the American Revolution and the French Revolution. Finally, 1803, they won independence. They threw the French out, laid that Louisiana Purchase of 1803. So, well, 200 years ago was in the French Caribbean. French Louisiana, which at the time was the whole middle of the country, wasn't much. There was about 10,000 people living in the French Quarter. That was the entire city. And St. Louis, Missouri had 1,000 people. Beyond the East Coast, 1803, that was it, beyond the East Coast. So with the slave revolt in the French Caribbean, the slaves won. The white people came here to escape the revenge of the slaves. It was a bloodbath. So did the free people of color come for the same reason. They were slave owners. Once the blacks became free, they started to acquire money and property and education. They're going to start acquiring their own slaves. And who's that most likely going to be? Their own family. You're going to buy your brother or your cousin, or you're going to buy some stranger. You're going to buy your brother. But don't run away on me. Please, it took a while to save up a couple $100 to buy your freedom. So, with the slave revolt of the French Caribbean, not only did the white people come, but the free people of color came, and a fair number of slaves came. And so we went from about 4,000 to about 8,000 free people of color. And by the time of the Civil War, we had about 20,000 free people of color, a lot of whom were of mixed blood. Not 20, not 200, but 20,000 free people of color. Between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, they own 19 plantations. One of them today, called Melrose, open for tours every day. It's just a little far away from New Orleans. And here's the statistic I'd like everybody to be sitting down for. As the Civil War was about to break out, 1,300 of the free men of color signed up to fight for the Confederacy. That should rattle your brain. 1,300 of the free men of color signed up to fight for the Confederacy. Well, by then, in New Orleans, they were free for as many as 50 or 60 years, 2 or 3 generations. They were more and more invested in that white world. They were getting closer and closer. They're never going to quite have as well off as the whites. But the gap was between the free people of color and the enslaved people, was where the gap was. So they signed up to fight for the South, but didn't actually fight for the South because we were taken over with hardly a fight, and it was kind of a blessing. It's kind of a difficult thing to realize. So it's a real key to understanding New Orleans, in my opinion, not just me, but a lot of people, is our unique black history.